We haven't gotten into labor and delivery.
That's not your choice.
What do you mean it's not my choice?
Like labor and delivery, like you mean like how I want to deliver the baby?
Like to be there or not is not my choice?
No, you mean...
Oh, yeah, I do have some choices in the labor and delivery stance.
And what's it? Like what?
Like if I want to be in the room when you deliver and stuff like that.
You're going to be there. That's my choice. You're going to be there.
That's my choice too.
Next. No, it's not. That one's not. You're going to be there.
To be there in the...
Okay, so you're telling me you don't want to be there?
Born.
Are you telling me you don't want to be there, Drew Scott?
My choice if I want to be there. And
it's also my choice. I need my supports person. You're that person. When you decided to marry me, that was my choice. That was your choice. You're going to be in the labor and delivery room. Next. What's next?
What do you mean, what's next?
What's next? What other stuff we need to talk about for labor and delivery?
That's all I can think of right now. Welcome to Hey There, Parenthood.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you on back on for another episode, and we're going to be talking about
babies, having babies, baby making. If we're baby making,
you have any more? I feel like you want to say more. I'm just gonna let you.
I'm gonna leave it there. I'm
dump it all out when it.
I'm leaving it there for you. I'm leaving it.
Oh my goodness! So we're not trying right now, though.
We're not trying, but I think we've made the decision to make the decision.
Does that sound so weird?
It does sound weird. I feel like
we were gonna listen. What are you talking about? Like all we know now is we want to try for another baby. Just not right now. We have things that we want to get in place. So like,
I would even say it's almost like we want to get ready if we want to try for another baby.
I feel like that's what I just said.
No, you said we want to try for another baby.
No, I didn't say it like that.
I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm still enjoying Penguin. And his terrible twos. Like, holy cow, this kid.
Like, nah, I'm good, Mom. I'm good.
Last night, so he's gotten in this really, I don't know if it's a bad habit because it's fruit's not bad, but he's gotten into this habit where when he goes to bed, he needs an orange. Like literally, like
not
a little
just
clementine.
An orange.
Well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So I got him an orange. I try to get Panda because he's in Panda's room. I said, Panda, can you run and get me an orange? He said, no, Dad. Not Panda, Penguin. Said, no, Dad, you get it. Not Panda, you get it. And I was like, are you serious? So I went downstairs. I gave in. Got him an orange, came back. He ate the orange and he said, now 2. And I said, no, like we're going to do 1 orange. He said 3. I said,
he went from 2 to 3.
I said, Penguin, like we did 1 orange. Like I'll get you 1 more. He's like, no, 4, 5. 5 oranges. And he like kept upping the ante. And so he ended up with...
He's a good negotiator. I like him.
He ended up with 3 oranges total.
You know what the issue is? Because you don't give him beforehand.
He fed me the last orange. So
really or the very last piece or the whole orange?
Like half of the last. He ate half. He'd eat 1 and give me 1.
So you know where you made the mistake was not telling him beforehand, hey, we're going to go get an orange. We're only getting 1 orange.
Oh, you're right. I did make the mistake because I told him, hey, we're doing juice beforehand and that's it. And so you're right. I didn't talk about oranges. So he suckered me into juice and then 3 oranges.
That was a you problem.
Yeah, it is.
Because when we go up there, I already bring the orange with me. I say, I'll only have 1 orange. We don't have any more. I'm so sorry, dude. Is it kind of fibbing?
Yeah, he sees the whole bowl of oranges.
But in reality, he doesn't need, like, that's legit just putting more sugar in his system. Is it good sugar? Yes, because it's not like actual sugar. But like, he's having orange right before bed. He should be brushing his teeth.
We did brush our teeth.
You didn't brush it right afterwards again, did you?
No, right before. We had to cut it off pretty quick because he started playing in the water. I was like, okay, time for bed.
Well, even with Penguin, you feel like you still want to like try for another baby?
What do you mean, even with him?
Like with all this, like all the like antics he's doing.
Kids are just. That's why they have terrible twos. Kids are just off the wall when they're 2 years old. So yeah, even with Penguin, I went through it with Panda, Badger.
We didn't give the other kiddos oranges before bed. But
the attitude and all that.
Yeah.
We went through it with all them, so it's like not to me like saying, do you want to go through this again? It's like I've already been through it 5 times. What's 1 more? Right? I do think that we've come to a decision like this may be our last, though.
Not maybe our last. I thought you were gonna give a snip snap.
I do plan on that, but I don't know if you're gonna hit me with like a bonus kid or something at the end. Like,
There's no bonus kid if
hey,
you get
we're
the
at
same
6.
snap.
Why don't we just go to 7?
No,
Make it
I'm
like
good.
this magic,
I'm telling
like
it
lucky
would-
number 7.
No. I'm good with not being lucky. See, what you forget is that even with this one, we almost were like, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see myself thinking like an extra 7th one.
Okay. It's on recording now.
It's on record. We can
Yeah, I'm
record
gonna
it
play
on
this
this
back.
camera,
We're
on
gonna
this
play
camera,
this
on
back to you.
3 times, and on the record. We're not having a 7th kid.
Are we live yet? Oh yeah, and it's
I-
on
I-
live. There you go. Hey everybody on live. Good to see you guys. You know I'm gonna do it. You already knew it.
So why do you do that? So this is the problem. You are getting a snip snap right when like 6 to 8 months. When I'm like 6 to 8 months pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
Okay. Done. Deal.
You're not gonna.
But I also want my snip snap vacation.
You don't get a snip snap vacation.
Yeah,
You
I
get the
do.
baby moon.
I get like my PlayStation 5. I get all my snacks that I want. I get to sit in bed with my frozen bag of peas. And
Okay, do I get my push present? Because I've yet to have one, and I've given you what? How many kids?
I thought the baby was your push present.
No, see? No. So
When
no
you hold,
snip snap
when you hold
vacation.
that little baby.
No snip snap vacation if I don't get a push present.
Okay, I'll get you a push present. What do you want?
I want something big. I want something that says I'm here.
Keep going.
A bigger ring.
A bigger ring?
A bigger
No.
ring.
That's supposed to be like 20,
A bigger ring.
20
You
year
asked me what I
anniversary.
want. I want a bigger ring.
Okay.
Bigger ring.
Okay.
Bigger
You got
ring.
it.
I
Ring
want.
pop makes huge rings. Different colors. What's your favorite color? Is it still yellow?
Yes, it's still the yellow.
Okay,
I
yeah.
want another yellow diamond.
Okay.
And like
It
this.
can be edible, right?
No. No.
Because I can get on board with that. I'm fine with
No,
that.
I'm not.
Oh,
You want a snip snap vacation. That's cool. Cool. Fine.
okay.
Bigger
Just
diamond.
know the bigger the push present, the bigger my vacation is going to be.
You just took. Do you understand? Listeners, listen to this. You just took an 8-day cruise. Actually, we're gone for 9 days, but you just took an 8-day cruise. I was alone with the kids for 8 days. What more vacation do you want?
I'm planning for the future. This,
Okay,
this is like a year and a half down the road.
Were you the guy who, after day 3, I don't want to be. I want to be home. I don't like this no more.
Yeah, I didn't say it would be an extended vacation. It's just going to get nicer, like more luxurious.
I hear nicer. I hear longer.
Oh, no.
So what are you saying? 2 days, 3 days? What do you want?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I
What
don't
do
know
you
how
want?
long it'll take to recover. A couple days. That should be good to go.
You should be good the very next day. You're
You know me when I'm sick or in pain. I'm going to like...
You're gonna what? Say it. Oh, that Floridian
take
slip was
longer.
so
I'm going
close.
to take longer to
Say
recover.
what you were gonna say.
than
Say
most
it with a
people.
whole chest. Go
That's
ahead.
it. I'm
What
going
were
to
you
need time to recover. That's what it is.
It takes you 1 day. 1 day. You're not lifting nothing, but you're good the very next day.
Well, I think you're getting off topic. Other than being snip snapped, what brought us to? What are some of our deciding factors in trying for another baby or not trying for
Or
a
the
baby?
deciding factors.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people will ask the question of like, I feel like it's usually 50-50 when I tell people, like when people ask, are you going to have another kid? It's usually met with, that's amazing. You have as many children as you want. Like y'all are so blessed. Look at your brood for children. Or met with like kind of like a why. Why do you need more children? Why do you want more children? I feel like that's kind of the answers I get. It's usually not like, usually it's on either side of the spectrum of like why you have plenty, you don't need to have more, or yeah, have as many as you want.
I mean, I guess if we're people who are asking why, it's like a why and like you shouldn't, like it's not their choice, right? Like just how I feel like it's always a woman's choice to be able to decide if she wants to have a child or not. Like if we are deciding that we want to have more kids, it's not their choice. But I feel like the reason why I want to have another kid, I think both of us really just wanted to have a large family, right? When we thought about ourselves at like 50, 60 years old and we're having a huge like holiday like dinner, that I always imagine like all my kids with all their spouses, maybe with kids, grandkids or not, because I'm not going to put it on my kids to say like, you have to have grandkids for me. Would I love it? Yes. But also I'm not going to be the one taking care of those grandkids. I'll be there spoiling them and then sending them right back to their parents. So I don't expect grandkids, but I've always expected a huge table with my children, with their significant other, and then us like just roasting each other at dinner. and having fun and eating good food. And I want to have that. And I also really enjoy taking care of our kids. Like, I really enjoy taking care of our kids. I love getting to know them. I love getting to support them. I love seeing them grow and like their brains, like understanding things. All that's really just so special. I don't know, like with every single every single one of them, all 5 of them. I like Tiger yesterday, we were just chatting and she was just having a hard time with something. And just like, I was just sat here, I was like, do you want to hug? Like, do you just want to sit? And like just hug, I'll hug you, and then like let's chat it out. And she's like, you could just tell her like her body melted, and like you could see like her whole demeanor change. And then we just started chatting about what was bothering her, and I really just liked just sitting with her. I really just like just chit chatting with her. Same thing with Badger, like. Same thing. Like we were just, what were we talking about? Oh, her book. She's reading East, and she's just now finished East, and now she's reading West. And she's telling me about the plot of the book and how like there's just different animal. Do I remember everything? No, Badger. I'm so sorry. I should remember everything, but I don't. But she's just telling me everything, and like she's so interested in the book. And I remember myself being her age, being so interested in book, and just like begging somebody to just listen to me, to talk, tell me, so I could tell you about the book that I'm reading. And I actually enjoyed, like, I feel bad that I don't remember, but I actually enjoyed hearing her talk about it and enjoyed listening to her talk about it. I like being around my kids. I like taking care of them. I like seeing, it makes me cry, but I also enjoy seeing them grow and get bigger, but also bring sadness at the same time because I love them being little. But knowing that they're eating and growing and learning and everything about them is just evolving, I like it. I like the whole part of it. And even as adults, I'm excited to see our kids as adults, to see who they are, who they turn out to be. And they're all going to be different. I already know that. I don't have any expectation. I'm just really excited about them being who they're going to be as adults. So I just enjoy parenthood. And like, because I always wanted to have a big family, it's just, some of it is selfish, right? I get it, but I also just enjoy it. And I'm hoping that my kids see that joy that I have being their mom, that they either, if they so choose so to have kids or not.
I think all of our kids would say that we enjoy being their parents. Like, I think genuinely, if a stranger were to ask them and be like, do your mom and dad love you? The answer would be yes. Do they care for you? Do they like want you in the house? Do they want you around? Do they want to spend time with you? I think in general, all of those answers for our kids are, the answer is yes. I think I'm on the same page for you of why I would try for another child and be okay having another child in the house is just because, it's just like what I hear you describing as like the journey. Like we truly enjoy the journey. We love seeing them grow. Like you said, it is sad when you look back at baby pictures and you're like, oh my goodness, like they've grown so much. But having an addition to the family and having the family dynamic continue to change and get bigger, I think to both of us is like really exciting. And that's really a big drive for us. Because you've told me even before, like when, like you're pregnant, you almost can feel the baby's personality.
Yes.
You know, so it's these unique spirits coming into our life with these unique personalities that we know is going to come with good challenges and like hard challenges, but challenges like we in some ways are looking forward to, expecting.
Yeah. We don't expect it to be easy. I don't think I ever expected any part of it to be easy, but I do find it like enjoyable. And I say enjoyable like with a question mark because I don't even feel like that's the right word. I just feel like it's brought so much meaning, and it's like also it's brought so much meaning, but it's also is like meaning to me too. I don't know if that makes any sense. And so that's the reason why we like, but it's also not like why we're just gonna keep having kids. Like we already know, like, hey, we're done. Like this 6th kid would be. Yeah, right. Because I don't know. Like, I think about if we were to try for a 7th, and I think you have a completely different reason why you're wanting to stop at 6 than why I want to stop at 6.
Yeah, I mean, my reason to be 100% honest for stopping at 6 is Jeena's health and well-being. Like, I just personally don't imagine my life without you, and so like even thinking of you not being there currently in our family or in the future, like really bothers me and makes me sad. And so like
with more pregnancies just increases the risk.
Yeah, more pregnancies increase the risk of something going wrong, things not going the way we expected. And so if you were to come to me after we have a sixth child and say, hey, I want to add a seventh child to our family, it won't necessarily be biologically, like there's just a situation that's going on and we need to, honestly, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, but
like,
we already made the decision that if we were to adopt again, it would only be a kinship adoption.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about stopping our family growth at 6 children.
Or
but
biological
even if
children.
Biological children.
Well, I mean, yeah,
But
I get what you're saying.
If a situation came up that there was like a child in need and the situation was right, because I don't believe in just blatantly like adopting with adoption being trauma, I would still consider it. I wouldn't, there isn't like, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but there isn't like this hard cutoff for me at 6 children just because it's the number 6.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
There's a lot of other factors in there, but
do you feel like we would be the type of people like after the kids are out of the house and we're just like, hey, we maybe not adopt, but like have more children and like become foster parents?
I think 100% will be heavily involved in like the foster community and potentially adoption community as far as helping out. And because there's so much need there. It's just overwhelming, honestly. Like there's so much need in those spaces that it can be very overwhelming even to try to get into and to help. Like, I joined our local like chapter, and I read the newsletters and try to get a little involved and stuff like that, but there's just so much going on there. But yeah, 5, 6 kids is a lot too. So like,
you heard that.
As far as challenges, like moving on to like conceiving and stuff like that, what challenges do you expect? Like we fast forward a few months, we're ready to try. Right? What challenges do you expect? Or are you ready for?
I mean, the very first challenge. So I will preface this. We've been extremely privileged. Every single time we've tried to get pregnant, we've gotten pregnant on the very first try. And I know it's not like that for everyone. Honestly, I don't know if this is just like a woman thing, but like I never just expect I'm going to get pregnant on the first try too, because I know like I'm like, with age, I've gotten older. Like this will be our first. It'll be my first geriatric pregnancy.
Oh, no.
I know. I'll be old.
What is that? 34 or 35?
35. 35. So this will be my first geriatric pregnancy because it matters on when you deliver the baby, not your age when you get pregnant.
Okay.
And so there's still a chance it might take us forever. There's still a chance, even though in the past it hasn't been like that. But my biggest fear or my biggest I feel like trial that will be is just the miscarriages because we've had 2 already. And the last one it was hard, but it wasn't as difficult as the very first one. Like that one was so hard. It was
really hard. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would be really surprised if we were unable to conceive. That's a challenge I haven't prepared for, to be honest. And a challenge I'm not expecting, but one I should probably think through.
I think about
miscarriage. I definitely have thought of that as a challenge. Not that it's not an emotional burden for me or sadness stuff, but I feel like it does take more of a toll on you having a miscarriage. And I'm actually very surprised and a little proud of you for sharing your journey this early on. Because I know in the past we haven't, because you have had miscarriages. We know it's a possibility. It's something we're both trying to prepare for and make sure we're ready for if that happens. And putting that in a public view and out there can make it harder. Like it were to happen,
because people are going to be in the comments just saying, why did you share it so early? Or you already have 5 kids. Like, why are you trying for more? This is what you get. Like, I already know. And I'm sure as they see like this, like they're going to say it and think like, and there may be even people wishing that upon me. I don't know. But I just felt like, I think about with my very first miscarriage, and I remember seeing all these families, everyone having like large families, and thinking like, oh, they never had to go through a miscarriage. And then when I started sharing mine, and then all these people, all these other women came up to me like, women who like had like maybe 1 or 2 kids, some with 5 or 6 kids or more, and then them telling me, oh, I've had miscarriages. It doesn't get any easier in the sense of like you forget, but you become more at peace with it. So like, not that, because I even think about like how I was in a mental state at like the first one or the second one. Like, it hurts. There's even like songs I can't even listen to because it automatically brings me back to it. And like it doesn't make it easier, but like I've come to peace with it because like I understand so much more about it. Like, I remember just like even my doctor telling me, she's like, honestly, every single baby, every single person on this earth is a miracle. So many things have to be exactly perfect for this baby to be here, that it's so much easier for things to go wrong. And so hearing her say that, I was kind of like, oh man, like I never thought about it that way. For so many things that have to go right, like, and also we got testing done. And so with her getting the testing done made me realize, like, okay, well, this wasn't my fault. It wasn't something I did, because that's the very first thing that I wanted to do, was just blame myself. I must have did something. I must have ate something. I don't know. I just feel like it was my fault. And I still, like, at times I have to remind myself, like, it wasn't my fault. But, like, you just become so obsessed about everything that I just felt like it just was hard. And so recognizing, like, there's so many things that I can do on my part to make things go smoothly, but just still understand that I still do not have control of everything. Even though I love to control everything, I want to control everything. Like, you guys, I've already gotten like the ovulation test. I've done all this stuff. Like, I made my list of all the things I always do. So I got my prenatal vitamins, my ovulation test. I'm going to go to the doctor, and we're going to make sure everything is good. I already got hormone and like a whole blood panel. And so I'm doing all this stuff beforehand to make sure I'm optimally, when we start trying, everything will be where it needs to be, which I think every woman should do, right? I think you should go to, like, it's really hard to hear women who like, oh man, like I went 6 months or a year, 3 years, and we were trying, nothing ever happened. If I had known I could just go to the doctor, I'm like, go. It doesn't matter if you had 1 kid, 2 kids, or 0 kids. Go to the doctor, get testing done, make sure that you're good. But if I want to control everything, but knowing that I can't control everything makes me feel uneasy, but also brings me peace. I'm doing my part. Then where everything's is where, like, it was where
kind
it
of gives you a list of things that you can work on controlling or control, and then you know that the rest is just is there.
What are your kind of like things that you're feeling like
for challenges?
Yeah.
Oh man. For me, I think it's just taking over when you're pregnant and first have the baby. I think
so. You mean like taking over, like taking more responsibility?
Yeah. Because as we have more kids, I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday. Shout out to Justice.
What, babe? Really?
He's not even watching. He's in school. One thing we were talking about is laundry and how much laundry we have to do.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, how much laundry do you do? And it's just him and his partner. And he's like, if we do like 1 load a week, we're good. Like wash, dry, we're good.
I'm pretty sure his fiance, like, Jared, is doing all the laundry. Is it Justice doing the laundry?
No, but it's like one day,
Justice, I know you're not doing the laundry.
Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But for us, I was talking to someone and it's literally 1.5 loads a day.
Yeah.
1.5 a day. And I say half because if I did 2 every other day, I'd be good. But
guess what? It's not me doing that laundry. I don't do laundry.
But what I'm saying is, like, already as our family grows, there's like more responsibilities in the house. And Panda, he's 11 now.
Yeah. And he can do it.
And he can help. Like, he's gotten really good at like.
He can.
No, that's what I'm saying. Okay. He can help. But I don't like putting all the responsibility on him. Like, no. It's not like, oh, you've got laundry this week. Like, no way.
No, actually, we only expect him to do his own.
Yeah, but I'm saying they can help, but they can still only help so much.
Yeah, because they're kids, and also not because they're kids, but also they should be kids. Like it's not their job to be taking care of the household.
So that's what I'm saying. It's in my mind, it's my job to keep the house running as normal as it can and was before you got pregnant and before we had the baby.
Yeah.
And so that's some of what I prep for and get ready for is that challenge. You being sick. I think I've been through it enough now to know and expect like bed rest, going to be sick, vomiting, feeling unwell, not the same energy.
You're not convincing me to do it.
You need to hear them all. Like
I know them all.
If you hear them all and say, I don't want to do this, like I support you 100%.
I know you. Yeah, I know.
So we've been through this enough. Like we're experts at knowing what's going to happen.
Which is why we talk about it so much, because I do need to mentally prepare. Because I think for the times that I haven't mentally prepared, those pregnancies have been so much more tough. Because I'm like, I didn't even have a chance to think about it or whatever. And so I need to mentally prepare, because if not, that is a rough pregnancy. Like mental, like I've had
not just physically, not just the blood work.
Because I've dealt with prepartum. Pre what?
Preeclampsia?
No, it was when you have depression when you're pregnant, because it's the hormone change and the
you
change
hear a
in
lot
general.
about depression afterwards.
Yeah.
I think people would just call that being pregnant.
No, baby, no.
Like having swings.
Jen Hamilton, I know you're gonna back me up here. There is depression while you're pregnant, and I can't remember what it's called. Are you looking it up? What is it called? Perinatal depression. Yeah. Perinatal depression.
I honestly haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I know. And you're a nurse. How are you a nurse?
I was not an OB nurse though.
Still, you're a nurse. What all that money we put to your degree, what have you been doing with it?
Taking care of these babies. That's what I've been doing. And baby making.
That was
You set yourself up for that one.
I did not.
You did too.
No.
When you're adults, we can talk about baby making. It's okay.
Yes.
Are you blushing? Are you blushing?
Yes, guys, I'm blushing.
I can see it. You
can?
Yeah.
You don't have to look real hard. Where you see the blush?
Right here. I think a really good topic to talk about is how we prepare the kids for another sibling. Is this something that the kids want? Have they expressed they don't want another brother or sister? I don't like. I've talked to them. All right, you go first then.
All of them want another sibling.
Yeah.
All of them. I mean, except for Penguin, which we haven't. I don't think he understands or whatever.
Yeah, no, he's not quite there to be like.
I mean.
Truly express.
But all the other older kids are all super interested. But also too, I think it's because it's funny because I think about our kids, the older kids. You know how many times they've changed a diaper?
How many times? I feel like a couple. I don't like.
Panda probably changed one diaper.
No, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I've encouraged them at some point in time, like, ooh, let's change the baby's diaper. And then they're like,
Badger,
there with me.
Once, Tiger 0, Cow 0.
You think that's why they want another sibling?
Because they have no they have no responsibility.
It's just another friend to play with.
It's another sibling to gang up on us. So I feel like because they truly because I've seen families that have a lot of kids and they put that responsibility on their children. Them saying no, I think maybe that may be a reason why they don't want to have another sibling, because it's like, oh no, they're kid that we have to take care of, where we don't ever expect our kids to wake up in the middle of the night with our kids ever. I don't think they do. We don't expect them to do change diapers or take care of the kids or anything like that. I think, you know what, this is the most I would say the big kids I've ever done. I am a month a couple weeks postpartum, and I'm like, hey, can you just watch your baby brother or sister
When
so I
they
can
can't
take a
even
quick
roll.
shower and like put some soap in my pits and then run out and I'm like, you guys are good kind of thing. Okay, let me put some lotion on and put some pajamas on. That's the most that
As
I
like
think
Paw Patrol is like going on.
so I think that's like the most I've ever asked of them. Like, hey, can you watch for like 5 minutes so I could take a quick shower? I think that's the most that I try to have.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it's their responsibility. I think their responsibility is just to be a sibling. Gang up on us, sure. Talk behind our backs and tell us that we're crazy. Fine, I'm cool with that. I want to encourage that. I want them to talk and roast us. Yes, that's how you foster a good relationship. When you are, think about all the times where you like, you and your friend are like, or even you and your sibling are just like roasting on mom and dad. It brings you together. Like, I remember as a kid, whenever my parents would spank me, and then I would go to like my sibling, like, it didn't even hurt. And then we'd be like giggling. That brought us together. So I want them to, like, that's their that's the job I would want for them to have, or the responsibility that I expect out of my kids.
Just building that like connection as a
Building
sibling.
the connection. I feel like that is something I want, and I will also do my part because I've seen them. Oh yeah, I've seen them say stuff about us, and like I don't say nothing. I mean, I make sure that it's not like horrible, like, but I mean, I feel like it's a normal part of development, or at least I want to make it a normal part of development where they're like roasting us, making fun, joking, because I want when we're gone, or I want the sibling trips
To have, to keep the strong connection with siblings even after they leave the home and they're talking to their siblings and having that connection still. I understand that. I've talked to the kids and they all are super positive.
Yeah.
They're all super excited. One thing we've been blessed with is all of our kids love babies.
Yeah, especially
Like
Panda is so good. He's
yes.
obsessed with babies. There's a baby somewhere and he's like right there making them laugh, like joking around, asking if he could pick them up, hold them. He's so good with them.
Yeah.
And I didn't
He
expect
feels
that.
like this nurturing love towards babies in general. And so
He's so gentle with even with Penguin, because Penguin,
you know what we should do? We should ask him if they want another toddler. Because Penguin is right in that age of like just creating havoc and chaos. Like, I didn't tell you the other day.
what do they do?
You were out of the house and we had like some dead space where, like, you know, as a parent, you're like, what do I do for like this 30 minutes, like before bed, right?
Yeah.
We took the magnetic tiles and we had a competition.
No,
We
you
each
didn't.
we had the same amount of magnetic tiles and we each built a little house. And I literally held Penguin and set him down and said, destroy. And then whoever's house he destroyed last one, we had two winners. Whoever's house he destroyed last one, and whoever's house it took him the longest to destroy won.
Oh my goodness.
And so Badger won like the best fortifications because she was smart and spread her houses out. So he had to jump from one house to the other to smash it. He couldn't just like...
He's like Godzilla or the
yeah.
Hulk. Like,
Exactly. And then Cal won because she was at the end of like the circle he started. He started on this side and made a circle around as he like smashed all the houses. So that's what we did for fun. So we should ask them like, do you want another toddler? You know, and then just see like their brain work through the chaos
I don't
of
know if
like...
I want to ask them, because I feel like they're like, you know who wouldn't have an issue with it? Like another toddler? Badger.
Yeah.
She is so patient. Like so patient. But she
would set her boundary. She'd be like, we can have another toddler as long as A, B, and C, like he doesn't enter my room at this time. He doesn't mess with this stuff of mine.
I love the boundaries.
You know, she would just set her boundaries, be like, yeah, I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Oh man.
But they're all like really excited. It's a discussion we have with the kids while we're making our own decisions and before like we even start trying, because we do think it's important. Like if me and you were gung ho, not that kids should make decisions for the parents, but they're an integral part of the family.
Well, their
So if,
opinion
like,
matters, I feel like.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And if we're gung ho for having another baby and increasing our family, but every single one of our children are like, no, it's too much. I don't spend enough time with you. All of that stuff. I think we would really stop and reprioritize and see what needs. Reevaluate, see what of their needs we're not meeting before we even tried for another child.
Well, honestly, isn't that one of the reasons why we even tried, or took so long before we tried for another baby after Tiger joined our family?
I don't think we talk about that very often. We were actually thinking about having another child.
And then she joined her family, and then we're like, nope, she's our priority right now. We cannot and I'm glad we did do it that way because she needed a lot of attention.
Yeah.
She needed a lot, not that in a bad way, just like a newborn baby needs a lot. But she came in our home, she's dealt with a lot of trauma. She needed that one-on-one attention. I mean, even as little as, I remember how for the first year, we did not go on dates. She was always with one of us. So that way she didn't have this fear of one of her parents leaving. So we didn't take a couple's trip for a whole year. She always had either me home or you home.
Mainly you, because I was working.
Yeah. But I think that was some of the things that we did. And that's some of the
that's because that's what our family needed at that time too. And so I think that's the general conversation of taking the whole family's needs into account.
I like how you're nodding.
I feel like we're making our decision here. I feel like this.
I feel like we already made our decision.
We did.
We went to therapy yesterday. We were talking through it, and our therapist was like, "You're doing so good."
She gave us a thumbs up. Yeah. Just in case you guys were wondering. Yes, she did.
No, she did. She said we're having good conversations, and we're on the right path.
And then she winked at you no, you're good to go. I promise she did.
She did not wink. I do not see her winking ever. I don't think I've ever seen her wink her whole life.
Exactly.
She's not even a winker.
Exactly. And for her to wink at you, to give you approval, that is a gold star right there.
She said we were having the right conversations, and we were doing it in a way that she felt was very productive.
Here is a thing I think we've struggled with that could be a challenge is family support with pregnancy. I think have gotten better.
We've gotten better?
I think we've gotten better at handling this challenge and setting things up with babysitters, nannies, mothers, helpers. Godparents have really helped a lot. But maybe because I just didn't know any better, and I'm the youngest in my family, so I didn't see my mom go through any pregnancies. I didn't have any younger children come into the house to experience family helping out with a baby or anything like that. When we got married and we had our first two children really fast, back to back, within 11 months of each other, we didn't have anyone come stay with us for a week or two.
Zero.
Community support when having a baby.
Zero.
We had zero. We had my brother that visited. We had my mom that visited.
They visited.
We had grandparents that visited.
Ain't nobody helped us.
Do we have any cousins visit?
Yes.
No. Yes? Cousins visit. Friends. We had a couple family friends visit.
Ain't nobody come to help us. The only time I think we got support from any family was just when I was pregnant with Penguin. And I was so sick and I had such bad I had a hemorrhage, right? Subchronic hemorrhage and then some other type of hemorrhage. And that was about the time where your stepmom came in and helped us. She was there, helped us for a really long time. But typically we don't get any help. It's usually when we're on our own. And
that was fifth baby too.
That was.
I think your grandma came in with Cal and gave you the herbal bath.
No.
Who did the herbal bath?
I've never had a herbal bath.
Someone did, I swear.
I
asked you about it, and they're like,
I wanted to do it, and no one on my side of the family ever came to my home to do it. I
swear someone did.
No.
But yeah, that's kind of where we were with community. Eventually, you're right. My stepmom did come in for one of the babies, Penguin. I don't remember which of the last two.
It was Penguin.
But I know the first two babies that we had, it was just minimal to no support as far as it was just me and you. And when I was home, I tried to do my best to take over when I wasn't sleeping and needing to go back to work and school and those kind of things. It was a pretty difficult time. I don't know. It's really hard for me to give any advice on
how to
build that community. I feel like some people just naturally have it and some people don't, and we all figure it out somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we should be giving advice because we really didn't. I mean, did we build a community in the way of having, I guess we have our friends. We have our close friends who've been able to help us. And so I think of the Bloomfields or other close friends like that. that kind of community, but like a lot of a lot of our own friends have kids the same age and they're in the same boat. Not like I often get jealous of friends who have their parents and they're like, oh yeah, I just dropped them off and me and my spouse were going to go do this. I'm like, oh man, that must be so nice. So I don't think we're the right person to give advice. So that's why I said I didn't even want to give advice, because I kept trying to tell you I don't think we're the right people. Because we pretty much, like, not everyone's going to be able to do this. We paid for it. I think the first time we were ever able to even have enough money to do it was when you were travel nursing. And so we know how much travel nurses make, right? And I was like, can I get a mother's helper? You're gone. I need a break a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, yeah, sure. And then we hired a mother's helper. That's been it. We've just had to hire help, which sucks. I wish I had the help, but like we didn't have that. I mean, your stepmom stepped up, and like to this day, I'm super grateful for her doing that, because I think I remember we were talking about it and we're like, we don't know what we're going to do. I guess we'll just figure it out. Right. And then she, out of nowhere, just said, okay, well, I'm coming this day. Is this day good for you? We'll be here for this long. She brought your little sister. Your little sister dipped out because she was bored, because she was young, and I don't expect anything different. And so I laugh about it, because I just see that's like a normal, typical thing I would think of a young teenager. Who's going to want to be there while your sister-in-law is just growing a baby and she's sick, throwing up all day, right? And so I thought I was grateful for the fact that your sister wanted to come at all. Right. And then your stepmom, she was just like, she was awesome. I love her. Diane, I love you so much. She was just so awesome. And she helped so much with homeschooling. She's probably one of the reasons why we were homeschooling as long as we did, because I went into it because we were, COVID. And then she's like, hey, it doesn't have to be this hard. Can I change some things? I was like, sure, whatever. I was like, and then she made it so much easier. And so I'm grateful for that. But I would say about 90% of the time, we just pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would agree. Is there anything you're looking forward to? So we're trying for another baby, hopefully later this year. We're kind of like in that preparatory stage.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're looking to do different with either this pregnancy or after the baby's born?
I want to breastfeed only 6 months.
Only 6 months?
Only 6 months.
We've already fought about this. I knew it was coming. We fought about this.
Okay, so no, listen. And the reason why I feel like you're saying you want me to breastfeed for the whole year, I already gave you some compromises that I already was thinking about doing anyway. But like, I know when I said I only want to breastfeed for 6 months, you already were like, I thought blah, blah, blah. I don't care what you thought. Breastfeed for 6 months, and then the first 6 months I'd also pump. I'm an oversupplier, and I was going to pump, and then we would use that milk from the first 6 months. We would also I'd stop breastfeeding. I would like do whatever I need to stop my milk, and then we would use the milk that we've frozen for the first 6 months and give to our baby. And that's what I want to do. Because But
you also said at 6 months, you're okay stopping even if the baby has to go on formula.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I have like, I'm not sure. I have to really think through
what?
Yeah.
It's not you breastfeeding.
No, I know this is completely your choice.
Okay, but you think through what? Because I feel like you're only thinking about the baby. You're not thinking about mom and baby.
I think the problem for me is I always think about mom first.
No, you don't.
And I know having the baby is a risk to begin with. So you're already compromising your health and taking risks just by getting pregnant and having the baby. So
you're basically telling me what I can or cannot, how much risk I can't take.
No, you have to tell me where you're comfortable with your risk. And I just did
6 months.
I know it is, but you have to understand and accept that it's also something that I have to think through and process as well.
I understand that, but it's also not you breastfeeding.
If I'm telling you I need time to think through and process that, then that's what I need.
Yeah, you can take it all the time you want.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm wanting to breastfeed till 6 months. I've even found, because I didn't understand your whole, well, what about the first year, right? What about the first year? I want the baby to have breast milk. We've done it with other kiddos, right? I gave you a solution. I will pump. And it's not even a question of whether or not I'll be able to pump. We know I'll be able to pump. I was able to do it for other friends who needed breast milk. I was able to breastfeed a whole nother baby while nursing my own baby. So it's not even a question of if our baby will be able to get breast milk. It's just like you want the idea of like, oh, we did it with this way in the past. We breastfed our babies and this is how we're going to do it. I get that that's how we did it in the past. I don't want to do it that way. And the reason why I don't want to do it that way is other women, when they breastfeed, they're able to lose the weight. They don't feel like their whole body doesn't change as much. Where I feel like if I'm not constantly eating, my milk supply goes down after around 7 to 8 months, right? And then, but as well as my hormones are still out of whack for so long that it takes me so much more longer to feel back to normal that I don't know if I get jealous, but I do want that. Okay, I just sacrificed and had deliver my baby, I just carried this baby for 9 months. Then just went through a delivery, and then I'm going to be nursing for about a year. It takes me, so the baby's about a year. It's usually around close to 2 years old, and I feel like, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm back to normal again. But also too, imagine how much nutrition it takes to be able to breastfeed a baby. And we just got our testing, I just got my testing done to see where my levels are at. And Penguin's almost 3 years old. He's turning 3 this August. My levels are still not even exactly where they're a lot better, obviously, when they were about a year ago, but they're not even exactly where they need to be.
Because you're geriatric now. that's part of being geriatric.
When you try to make jokey jokes when we talk about something serious, how does it make me feel?
Like a geriatric person. Oh. No, I understand it's completely your choice and stuff like that, but these are the discussions we should be having before having another baby.
Yes.
Like we shouldn't just go into having another baby and completely ignore any additional wants or needs or boundaries that either of us is setting up. And so like one of mine that I've talked to you about is not co-sleeping with the baby past about 6 months. So that time that you're talking about not wanting to breastfeed anymore and stuff like that, moving the baby into their own room with a crib, which obviously has other brothers and sisters. And so the baby will probably be in a room with one of its siblings anyway.
So our listeners probably don't know this because we haven't announced this. So I guess this is where we're announcing it. We could just have a room for the baby. Or we could just like figure out a way to have like in our bedroom, we could design something where it's like an extra space where it's just like in a different room.
The only problem for me with it still being in the bedroom, I have a really hard time if the baby is crying, sleeping through it. I can't sleep through it.
Okay.
And so I have to physically be removed from the baby.
No.
So once they're fed and I put them in the crib and stuff like that, like I can physically have separation from them so that I can sleep. So like
I was trying to say is we're like designing our own bedroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could make it where we could add an office in our bedroom. Like a lot of people do that. We could have a door in it and we could do whatever we need to. We'd have it as a nursery for the first year. And then when the baby is old enough to go in a room with, if he's by himself or he's sharing a room with his other siblings, because we thought if it's a boy, he'll share a room with Penguin. If it's a girl, potentially Cow, right? He would share with one of them, and then that room could turn into an office. That's what I've been thinking about, because when you mentioned it last time, it felt like retaliation. It felt like you're like, well, you're going to change. You're not going to breastfeed for a whole year, so I'm going to have the baby not co-sleep, which I did not like. If this is something that you've been thinking about for a really long time, of course, I definitely want to hear your thoughts, but not in a way where it feels like you're attacking because you don't like that I'm changing anything. Yeah. Right. And so I thought of that idea once you came up with it, because once I found out it was because it's something that you've been truly thinking about, then of course I want to hear your thoughts. Because just like how it's my choice on whether or not I want to breastfeed, I definitely understand like it should be both of our choices on whether or not we want to co-sleep and for how long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. Maybe put some soundproofing up between the office and our room.
I don't want to soundproof it because you're going to have to get up at a certain time.
I mean, we'll still have monitors and stuff like that. I'm just joking about soundproofing. Just joking. It's a joke. Well, obviously we'll still have baby monitors and stuff like that. But yeah, no. I mean, you expressing that you want to change things with breastfeeding for our next child definitely makes me reflect back and look and say, okay, well, how has my experience been through each of these children and their milestones and different things like
Which I don't have a problem.
breastfeeding and co-sleeping and potty training, and what do I want to change for myself, and
What do you want to change about potty training?
that
'Cause
kind of stuff.
Penguin's the first baby you actually have to potty train.
What I want to change about potty training, nothing right now.
What do you mean
because
nothing
it's
right now?
now.
You haven't potty
long
trained.
time.
You haven't even potty trained by yourself.
Okay. Well, I guess you need to leave the house for a few weeks so I can do it by myself. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say to that.
I'm just saying, what would you want to change when you haven't even done it yet?
I said I don't know. That's why I said I don't know what I would change to potty train. But those are major milestones as a parent, at least that I think through that the kids go through.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's just like we talked about doctor's visits a little bit. You're typically the one that goes to the doctor with the newborn.
Like for the first year.
Like
you mean?
for the first year, yeah.
And I think I'm fine. I think I said
we
I'm
need to
fine with.
evaluate, are we changing that? Are we keeping it the same? Are we swapping who goes
Do you feel
to
like
the
we're
doctor's room and that stuff?
reevaluating all of our roles and like expectations because we've had such a big conversation about it about a year ago about all the things that we're wanting to change in our.
I mean, I think we're just having better communication now about our thoughts before we're taking the action going into it.
We should have had better communication a long time ago.
I don't disagree, but just because we should have done it a long time ago doesn't mean we shouldn't do it now.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, that's what you make it sound like.
No,
we
I'm
should have
not.
done that a long time ago.
We should have done it a long time ago.
I can't go in the past.
But I can still say we should have did it a long time ago.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's one thing you've been thinking about. And I think you've basically expressed that at 6 months, you want to stop breastfeeding. In those 6 months, you want to gather enough milk supply to bottle feed the baby until 1 year old.
I want you to help more at night
Yeah.
because we had a deal that I would wake up with the baby for the first year and then you would wake up with the baby when they're a toddler, and then you didn't keep that end of the deal this time. So I don't want to do it again.
Yeah. Yep. And then we're looking at instead of co-sleeping 6 months, kicking the baby out of our room, whether it's in an office you
Yeet.
build or one of the siblings' room, I don't care. Just out of the room at 6 months, and then kind of go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Do we want to change everything else? It seems like we've been pretty okay with.
Yeah, I think most everything else we're okay with. We haven't gotten into labor and delivery.
That's not your
but-
choice.
What do you mean it's not my choice?
Like labor and delivery, like you mean like how I want to deliver the baby?
Like to be there or not is not my choice.
No, you mean
Okay,
I
I do have some choices in the labor and delivery stance.
And
like,
what's it? Like what?
like if I want to be in the room when you deliver and stuff
You're
like that.
gonna be there. That's my choice. You're gonna be there.
That's my
next.
choice too.
Next, no, it's not. That
Yes,
one's
it
not.
is.
You're gonna be there.
To be there and the
Okay, so you're
when
telling
my
me you don't
child
want to
is
be
being
there?
born.
Are you telling me you don't want to
but
be
I'm
there,
saying
Drew
it's
Scott?
my choice if I want to be there. And you're saying
And
it's
it's
not
also my choice. I need my supports person. You're that person. When you
Okay.
decided to marry me, that was my choice. That was your choice. You're gonna be
Yeah.
in the labor and delivery room. Next, what's next?
What do you mean? What's next?
What's next? What other stuff we need to talk about for
I
labor
don't
and
know.
delivery?
That's all I can think of right now.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I want to have another epidural-free birth.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I want a midwife
Mm-hmm.
to deliver, as long as I can keep my my like.
Are you doing a
blood
birthing
sugar.
center? Because I think we both are
Well, I don't.
good at home. Like
What
both
do you
we
mean good at
decided
home?
not doing a birth at home.
No,
Are you doing
you're
a
not
birthing
doing
center?
a birth home. And I listened to your like concerns about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I also listened to the medical advice. And then as a dad, and then I realized I can still get what I want at a birthing center. I would be fine with a home birth. You
Yeah.
don't like it, so because this is a marriage
Is that what this is?
and this is our baby.
Okay. Thanks for catching me up to speed.
That I said, okay, I can get more, like pretty much everything that I want at a birthing center or at a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
even at a hospital, because I mean, even at a hospital, I gave birth and I was like, I don't want an IV. Guess what? I didn't get an IV. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the risk.
You tell them.
Don't you tell me what to do. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm pretty sure I want an epidural-free birth again. I'm going to see if we can go. Well, now that I know I'm geriatric and I have gestational diabetes, I know more than likely they won't let me go past 40 weeks again. So I'll probably try to deliver at 40 weeks. I will definitely try not to get induced before then, but I know that we don't know.
If you get induced, are you getting an epidural? That's been your thing in the past.
I think I'm going to try, even if I get induced, we're going to talk about numbers and how much they're going to include, like how much Pitocin they'll give me. I want to have a conversation with my OB, because if I have to get induced, that would not be a midwife thing, I'm pretty sure. That would be like I'd have to go my OB, and then I would see what kind of numbers, because I respond really well to Pitocin.
Do birthing centers induce?
Yeah, they do.
Would that be okay?
They do. And so I'm pretty sure there's like something, I don't know. You should know. Your degree. Tell me what you know.
About what?
Like,
I never worked in a birthing center.
But you're a nurse. We paid how much money?
A nurse doesn't know. I know everything, Jeena.
We paid how much money for your degree?
How do you do that brain surgery? You're a nurse. You should be in there.
We paid how much money? We got student loans.
How do you do that skin graft?
Exactly. We paid for that degree.
No.
We pay for that.
It's like asking a nurse about your teeth. Hey, I got this tooth that's aching.
They're a nurse. I didn't say they were a dentist or a dental assistant.
Exactly. I'm not a nurse practitioner, OB.
You know what we're
midwife. We have to watch the midwives.
So, I think I would try even if I got induced, I would try to go epidural free. I just would ask the OB what we can do about how much Pitocin, because I respond really well to Pitocin, like extremely well. Like I think one time they just cranked it up and delivered the baby within like 4 hours or something like that, 5 hours. And I don't like them doing that because it was really like I was okay, but I felt like my body physically, because it wasn't like I was in a lot of pain, but I could feel like my body was exhausted afterwards.
Right.
And so I liked it when like the least amount, because that's why I love my epidural free births, because I have so much energy, because I know it's like the shock of everything, but also my body's like, it went through everything. I don't know. I just prefer, I prefer how my body feels after epidural, but I also like how with the epidural, how my body, like I can actually handle it. I'm not like screaming and yelling and sweating my perm out. So
right. All right. I got a good Reddit story for you. Okay. Here's a good one. You tell me. Okay. I feel like it touches on a lot of the points we've talked about so far.
Let's go.
My wife wants more kids, but I don't, and she's not willing to negotiate. My wife and I started dating in 2018. In 2019, I already knew she was the woman I would marry. We loved to make life plans and loved the fact that we both wanted 3 kids. In 2020, she got pregnant due to contraceptive method failure. We didn't get scared. We got married, found a home, took the efforts to get prepared to receive our already beloved son. He was born February 2021, beautiful, healthy. He's just perfect in so many ways, but I need to confess, I've never been so exhausted in my whole life. My day is basically going to work, get home, and look after him to give my wife some time once she's the one that abdicated her career and studies temporarily. Okay. So his wife's staying home full time. That would be okay if we had a stabilized financial life and career. I graduated recently and I never got a job in this segment. I had to redesign my career and migrated to retail or e-commerce. We are not poor, but my salary doesn't allow me to raise money for a better life condition. My wife will get a job when he grows up, but I presume it will take a long time since she didn't graduate either. I'm not happy with my current job. I have no expectation to get a better one. I don't have free time to follow my dream job. I'm always exhausted, and my wife is already planning a second child. I don't know why she didn't reconsider having more children like I did, even though she is always tired too. Is that a female instinct or something?
Why are you laughing?
Because it's funny.
The
way he says it, like, she already knows I don't want kids anymore and got really disappointed about that. She's always throwing it in my face that we used to share the same dream and how I jumped off. I fear for the future because I know how irresponsible? No, it's like irresponsible.
I don't know, babe.
I don't even know what that word is. She is about that. And I promised myself I won't have more kids because I know I wouldn't be able to give a better life with another kid. By better life, I mean not only having money, but also time for us. The other reason can cause some judgments from a parental community. I love my son. Am I wrong about giving up our dream family? Am I being selfish? I know I thought about having 3 kids would not be that hard, and it's fair for her being upset.
Okay. I feel like he redeemed himself at the end because it seemed like he was frustrated that his wife wasn't coming to the same conclusion as him. Because if they, not like you can't back out and say, it's totally fine that he only wants one kid. I don't even care the fact that he only wants one kid. But it seemed like he was kind of like belittling or kind of like, how can she not come to the same conclusion as me? Bruh, y'all both talked about having 3 kids and you both agreed to it. And then because it got hard, you decided like, hey, this is not for me. Not even the bad part. But you're like saying like, how can my wife not think that way?
So for reference, he's talking about her planning a second child. His child is 2001, 2, 3. Yeah, his child is 3 years old at this point. So he's way past the newborn stage. Mm-hmm. So he's way past. So the child is 3, and she's planning for a second child, and he doesn't want any more children. One is enough. And so,
I mean, I don't think he's the a-hole, but I also don't like the way that he's not the same way that he's expecting his wife to truly consider and also just be respectful of the fact that he wants one kid. I don't think he's giving her the same respect. Because he's just like, well, I'm changing this because, look at all these hard things. Where his wife may be seeing the exact same hard things and be like, but look at our child. Look how much happiness this child has brought us.
Well, it seems like she's okay with the situation as well. It seems like she's okay with the financial situation. She was okay giving up her career and her dream.
But she gave up a lot.
So she gave a lot to be home with the child and essentially raise him. Yeah, for me, that's a really tough one because that's almost like hitting a brick wall because she's like stuck on 3 and she's okay with it. And he's like, no, I'm done. Like, I have one. I'm happy having the one, like wanting to spend more time.
He's not asking for anything. Like, I really don't think he's an a-hole.
The end
really
was a
don't.
good ask. Like, part of it is not just money. I want to be able to spend more time with my wife. And it doesn't sound like they have like support systems set up either where they're able to maybe to do date nights. I don't think
he mentioned any of that.
He didn't. But
so I don't know if that means that he doesn't. It's just he didn't mention it.
I'm assuming he doesn't because the way he said that all he does is work, come home, take care of the child, go back to work the next day.
Do you think that there's a possibility he was doing what you were doing where you're not prioritizing spending date nights or doing stuff like that? Because there's a chance that he's just thinking this is what we got to do.
It almost sounds a little bit more in depth than that it doesn't seem like a possibility. So that not that he's not prioritizing, but he is worried about finances. Okay. And so he may not be wanting to spend the finances on babysitters or date nights and stuff like that.
Baloney. I'm just going to say he said that they were not doing really bad, but also there are dates. You can plan dates that don't cost a lot of money. If you truly want to prioritize your marriage and he's finding like it's important, he's only looking at it in a way of financial, not bad. That's important. Like we think about whether or not we're going to bring another baby. We look at the finances too, right? Not bad. But if he's trying to say, well, I can't like plan something for my wife. We make a dinner, put our baby down for bed, whatever. That's just because he's choosing not to do it because he wants it to look a certain way. And he's choosing not to do it. And it almost feels like he's like, everything is bad. We have no money. We have no time. And it's the baby's fault, where obviously it's not the baby's fault. They chose to have a kid. And it might be very well true from his point of view, but she may not care about that. She may see, hey, we've had this baby and this baby has brought us so much joy. And I truly love, bringing another child in with you. And it's also been a dream, like to have a dream. We've had things like that where we both expected certain things in our marriage. And then because things have changed, I don't say you were crazy or there was something wrong for you to not expect certain things that we already talked about in the regular marriage. It's just like we should always have those conversations. It sounds like they're having a conversation now, and I don't think of him as a bad guy. I just think of him as a person who's not giving the wife the same respect.
So do you think? So here's a question though. Do you think if he were to bring this to his wife, like as open as he is online, do you think she should compromise some of her things to meet his needs so that he's more comfortable having a second child?
I don't think she's...
Like and compromise might be the wrong word, but like if he's worried about being able to spend time with her, if he's unhappy with that, and she really wants a second child, should she initiate date nights to reconnect with him so that he understands or feels like, hey, we can have a child and have the connection that I want? and make him more open to wanting to have another child.
So I'm going to word this in a way that may not make sense, maybe until I finish. Should she plan date nights? Not should she, but she can, right? If she's really wanting this. But why isn't he planning date nights? If he's really wanting to prioritize it and he's like, I want to spend more time with his wife, honestly, it doesn't sound like there's anything stopping him. It sounds like they both really care for each other because she wants another baby with him. And while that may be like, I mean, there are people who are not in great marriages still want another baby, but it doesn't sound like they have a bad marriage. It doesn't sound like anything like is going on. So just what we know, he could also be planning it. So can she? Of course she can. Right. And she may, because she may, if she's listening to him and he's saying, well, I really want to spend more time with you. She may, because she really wants to spend more time with him and have the baby. But why isn't he doing it? Why is he not doing it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's a good question, but it could just, I think be more individual. It could be more individual, and we just don't have, we'd have to have like a conversation, I feel like, with them to get more specific information. Because if he's just so exhausted every day, and he may just not be thinking outside that box. It may take her initiating and then plan a date night or two and then be like, hey, I've planned these one or two. I want you to plan like a couple from here on out and then see how that goes. I mean, I think she also could be setting herself up for failure or for a bad situation. If she's constantly telling him, I want another child, he's constantly saying no, and then she proceeds with having another child with him, he's going to have instant murder. Like, if she pushes, the first reason they had the child was a contraceptive failed. So they didn't plan the first one. Let's say, I'm not saying she would, but let's say the contraceptive failed again, right? Not even quotes. Let's just say it failed again. Mm-hmm. They have a second child. How much regret and how much resentment is he going to build up against not only her, but this second child that they have, where he's already at the stopping point. So I think that's why I lean more into like, is there something that she can do to open up the conversation, to reconnect, to break the barriers a little bit?
But why are you putting it on her? Why are you putting it on her?
I don't think it would be, to me, if it was the husband or wife in this situation, or which partner. I think the person that's wanting something, right? There's more of an obligation on that person to figure out how to get what they want, or figure out what the barriers are to getting what they want, compared to the person that doesn't want something. I think that's just how my mind works. Like, if I want to go to the store and get candy, and you don't want to go to the store and get candy, like, we can just sit here and do nothing, and the only one that benefits from that is you. Or I can take the initiative and be like, hey, is it because you don't want to drive? Do you want me to drive? Or do you not have any money? Like, do I need to, take a couple bucks of my own money? I'm just saying, like, because I'm the one that wants something, I feel like it falls a little bit more on me to drive some of that change. That's all. So I don't like the way, when you say it, like, why is it up to her? I don't want it to be pinned on like this is a gender thing or a wife thing or a female thing. Still, I just think it's more of like, she's the one asking for something. He's the one expressing he's uncomfortable moving forward. Okay. How do you break down those barriers?
Okay. But what I also don't feel like you're recognizing is he's saying, I don't want this because of X, Y, and Z. I don't think he's recognizing all the sacrifices she's made based on things that they agreed on in the very beginning too. And so if she's like giving up her career, didn't finish school, all this stuff, and I'm sure if it's like any situation like with us, right, where I decided I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I didn't feel forced into that. It was like a sacrifice I gladly made for our family, right? But when things change and it feels like that sacrifice was for naught, it kind of stinks. And so then she's still expecting like, well, I sacrificed and didn't finish or didn't do this, but I still really would like to have a second baby. I think I don't think there's a right or wrong. That's why I definitely don't feel like he's an a-hole, but I just feel like he needs to, even though he's like thinking about like the time and money and stuff like that, he's looking at those. Is he looking at any of the things that his wife sacrificed, which I sometimes feel like men often do? They're not recognizing the sacrifices that their wives have done for them and for their family. And if she's like changed her whole life, I don't know. It's not even like she deserves, but I think it's more of like a, hey, can you just recognize that and also think about the things that she had to give up and look at that before you make the complete decision saying no more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that should have been part of their communication before he made the decision in his head, I will never have another child.
Which
Because he's setting himself up there too to be like, I'm never going to have another child. Almost seems like he went to work, talked to his buddies and like was like, yeah, I'm never going to have another baby. Then went home and was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that.
Which I think that's so rude. That should have been a conversation.
That was a complete...
before he made a decision by himself with his friends, whatever. That should have been a conversation that he definitely should have had.
Hey, honey,
with his wife.
I know we talked about having 3 kids. We've had one. How are you feeling? Well, this is how I'm feeling. And I'm not sure I want to move forward with having another child.
We said we'll talk about it 6 months. Or after we had Penguin. We'll talk about 6 months. We'll talk about a year. Nah, he's 2 years old and we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's maybe one of the things, just more communication about it.
That'd be my advice. More communication.
So I feel like that's the answer to everything.
Everything.
Talking. I'm glad that you are willing to have this conversation with me. I'm also glad that we're talking about it in a way that was been different in the past with the other 5 kiddos. I'm glad that you just didn't expect us to do well, you kind of did expect us, but you've been open to it. You've been open to the changes and everything. And so I'm excited over the next couple of months what everything will look like, because I know I've got 30 or 40 pounds to lose. I've got to get my levels back to normal. I know you're looking at doing more stuff for yourself.
I'm excited to follow you on this journey. That's what it is.
You're going to do nothing but be there that night.
Fly on the wall, eat some chocolate, watch my favorite show.
I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys so I can talk to Drew in private.
All right, bye guys. We'll join you next time. Funny.